Hi, I'm Sandra. I'm a second-year occupational therapy student. Additionally, I am on my university's student interview team. I just say that to help qualify that I know a thing or two about interviews. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to interview days, and I'm hoping that some of my experience can help you out with your OT interview. The first thing you should know is you are more than prepared to rock it. Your goal during your interviews, if you need like an overarching theme, is you are letting the grad school know that you are ready for grad school and you are a good fit for that particular school. Now, with those goals in mind, let's dive into some specific tips. I'll fly through some of the most common tips first. If this is your first stop, this might be your first time hearing them. If not, you've probably heard a few of these things before. I think they're important, so I want to include them in this video. But then I'm going to add some tips that I did not see widespread in internet resources that I think will help you on your interview days. So the first ones are the ones that we're just going to fly through. If you toss in a Google of how to be successful at a grad school interview, these are going to be the ones that pop up. First is going to be dress professionally. That speaks for itself. Next is practice your answers to common questions. Why OT school? Why this school? What is OT? All those things are going to be common questions. And know about the program that you are interviewing for. You would be surprised how many students show up on interview day and don't actually know anything about the program they're applying for. It's just embarrassing. Hop on your program's website, read through all of the highlighted pages. It shows when you don't know anything about the program. And I completely understand applying to a widespread number of schools, but if you get an interview, take 10 minutes to look at their website. So those are some widespread tips that you'll find anywhere on the internet. Now let's go into some things that I find helpful about interviewing for graduate school, specifically occupational therapy school. The first is practice ending a thought professionally. So yeah, it's not really a professional ending to a thought. It just makes me think that you didn't really think through your answer. It probably won't stop you from getting into school, but you really want to put your best foot forward. So practice ending your sentences in a professional manner that shows that you are confident in your answer, because yeah, and so that are not the most professional way to do that. A great way to do this is to play games with your friends where they have to explain a certain topic in 2 minutes or less. So for example, maybe your friend says, explain what cabinets are in 2 minutes or less, and you have to explain what cabinets are and you have to end it confidently. You can't end it with, so that's cabinets. You can't just end a thought by having the thought be the end. You can summarize your thought. Let's say you talked 10 minutes about why cabinets hold things. Summarize all those quick points in your ending sentence. For example, all in all, what you want to do is practice ending your thoughts professionally so that you are not ending them with phrases that show that you are not confident in your answer. In addition to knowing about your school, know what you're looking for in a school. Sure, you applied to 20 schools. All 20 of those schools are not going to be your best fit. Right now, you're probably stressed about getting in, but it's also important to know what's going to happen after you get in. You're going to have to get an education from that place. So know what you're looking for in a school, and this will help you be prepared to ask questions about the school. Are you super interested in research? Odds are you're going to be on a interview with a professor, so you can ask what research they're doing in particular. Even better, you'll know your interviewer in advance and you can look up their CV on the school's website. Most schools will tell you who's interviewing you in advance, so you can take the time to look into that. What you need to do is figure out what you're interested in. A great place to start is, why am I interested in OT in the first place? And then you can figure out what you want from your education, and that'll lead to questions that you can ask about the program. It'll also help you have a better sense of identity as you are explaining your tell me about yourself answer. Personally, I graduated from a Jesuit university, and while I'm not Catholic, I was particularly interested in Jesuit education. And so in my tell me about yourself portion, I was able to talk about the impact that Jesuit education had on me and what I was looking for in a graduate education. I talked about how I knew I wanted to go forward with certain values. I was looking for both a program and a career that would allow me to live my life with those values. So knowing what you want in school is not only helpful to ask questions, it's also helpful to build your identity, because it can show how you fit into that school's value and ideal pupil. Most schools will ask a question that is a behavioral question based around ethics. So review your basic ethics. They really just want to see that you are thinking with your head screwed on straight. And so they'll ask you a question like, you're working and you found out your coworker committed insurance fraud by saying they were in a patient's room longer than they actually were. What would you do? And you don't have to know what you would do. That's a really stressful situation, right? But they just want to know that you're not just gonna say, well, I think that's their problem. Like, they just want to see that you're thinking in a way where you will right wrongs. So review basic ethics, know kind of some of the major ethical principles. A great resource is going to be AOTA, and look at the OT practice framework and look at what it says about ethics. And that will be a great starting point just to make sure you have a simple understanding of ethics. And then from there, you can answer those ethic-based questions. If you are participating in a group interview, these these next few ones are going to be for you. If not, they're still helpful because you will be working in groups for the rest of your life. If you're in a group interview, the point is not to shine and be the best in the group. Group interviews' purposes are to see how you interact with others so that they can build a team in the cohort. So do not overpower the conversation. If you are naturally a leader in conversation, it's okay to let those skills show. But make sure you are showing that you're listening to your peers, you're building on their ideas, you're helping support their ideas, but do not overpower the conversation and don't use that as an opportunity to brag about yourself relative to your peers. Rather, use it as an opportunity to show that you can work well in a team. Working well in a team means that you're listening to the people around you, you're building from their perspectives and ideas, and you are offering more to the table. With that being said, in any interview, do not be afraid to talk about your accomplishments. In our interviews, we do not have access to your application. I only know the person's name and the school they graduated from. You don't need to tell me your GPA. You got an interview that indicates that you're going to be a great fit, but what I want to know is what leadership qualities do you have? How have you exemplified a passion for care of others? It's okay to repeat those things. Just put them into the context of this is why I'll be successful in grad school, and this is why I'm a great fit for your school. Brag about the things, show off a little, but don't do it in a way that's, look, I'm better than everyone else. Do it in a way that says, look at all these things I've accomplished. This is why I'll be successful at your school. And with that, man, we've had hard years, and you might have had particularly hard years. So don't be afraid to explain your failures. The most important part is to explain what you did to turn it around. So let's say that COVID hit you hard, you were alone, isolated, burnt out, and having a hard time adjusting to online school. So your GPA took a hard dip in a couple of semesters. That is completely understandable and happened probably to a lot of students. Schools don't particularly care. What they want to know is, are you adaptable? How did you fix it? Was there an upward trend in your GPA? And in your interview, there is an opportunity to say how you did. Again, what you're trying to do in your interview is show that you are both ready to go to grad school and a great fit for the school itself. So showing you're ready to go to grad school is, I've done hard things and I've overcome the challenge. Being a good fit for the school itself might be a particular way that you've accomplished those things. Take some time to reflect on these tips that I shared. Drop any questions that you have in the comments below. I'm always more than happy to answer any questions. I see that all your comments. Hopefully this was helpful to you. If it was, and if you're pursuing your occupational therapy journey, you'll find lots of study tips as well as just like what life is like on my channel. So please subscribe so you don't miss a video. It really supports me and keeps me motivated to keep making these videos. And I look forward to seeing you again next week.